Hello, welcome to this week's 10-Minute 2-Tip Tuesday. As always, Borland, I'm an occupational therapist and the owner and founder of Higher Standards Caregiver Training, and I am here with you at 11:03 Central Standard Time to provide you with two super valuable tips. The first one for caregivers and the second for caregiving organizations. So, as always, please keep in mind this is for educational purposes only. If anything that I'm telling you makes you think of someone that you think needs to be evaluated by a healthcare provider or needs some kind of licensed professional assistance, then please make sure that you advocate for that person to get that care from the right provider, as this is for educational purposes only. Excuse me. Okay, so first tip for today. Last week we talked about falls, and I thought that we might continue a little bit along that line. And then, hint, stay tuned till the end because I have an announcement about a very special fall prevention series that I'm going to be making available here soon. Keeping in that line of talking about falls and fall prevention, I wanted to talk about one of the really, really important things that caregivers need to kind of keep in mind when you're thinking about preventing falls as you're actually providing care for someone. Especially if you're doing any sort of transfer with someone, if you're assisting someone getting to and from the restroom, etc. This is a really, really important tip for helping to prevent falls during those kinds of tricky scenarios. Okay, I'm sure you're ready for it. The tip is to avoid rushing. Rushing is absolutely one of the things that plays into so many preventable falls that happen while we're directly providing care for someone. Of course, this could be like a transfer that you're doing somewhere. This could be even bed level care, could be helping someone get to the restroom, going somewhere. Anytime people, not just seniors, but anytime people get in a rush, we're increasing the chance that we're going to miss something or make a mistake. And this is especially true when we're in complicated situations where we're helping to provide care for someone, and especially when we're helping to provide care for someone who might have limited mobility issues on their own or other kinds of issues that requires them to need care in the first place. So many situations go wrong because we simply get caught up in the rush of things, and then we end up having a fall. And so how can we actually prevent this? The best way to avoid rushing through situations when you're providing care for someone is to try to have a plan. It's to avoid having to get into that rush in the first place. So I'll give you a specific example. One of the times when people frequently end up rushing to do something is when they are needing to go to the restroom. We've all been in that situation. If you have some urgency to get to the restroom, you might start moving a little faster than you normally would. There's a kind of panic that might set in, and that kind of leads up into a perfect storm for a potential fall. So hold on just a second. I hear a little echo. I just want to make sure. Okay, just turn that down there. So how do we prevent ourselves from rushing getting someone to the restroom? Well, we want to plan for that. Now you might be asking, okay, well, how can I plan for someone to not have to rush or not have urgency when they're going to the restroom? Well, one of the ways that we can do that is by making sure that people are using the restroom at regular, predictable intervals, instead of necessarily waiting for that person to feel like they absolutely have to go. It's not uncommon for folks to have more incontinence or to have like sudden strong urges where they need to go all of a sudden versus having a like kind of slowly building pressure telling them that they need to go. So when we can plan for people to go to the bathroom on a regularly scheduled interval, that can help to avoid that rushing and that panic that occurs when someone urgently needs to go, and of course they don't want to have an accident in their clothing. So that's just one good example of ways that we can avoid rushing. And rushing is something that leads to falls, so we want to avoid it through good planning whenever we possibly can as caregivers. Okay, that's it for that tip. Second tip for today, for caregiving organizations. So often, I talk about training and training processes and give you tips regarding those. This is along those same lines, although it's new compared to what we usually talk about at 10-Minute 2-Tip Tuesday. So this has to do with the frequency with which we really need to be sharing the training information or the particular skill set or whatever it is that we want our caregivers to be doing. For most people, it doesn't matter who you are or what you do. For most people, we have to hear something about 7 or 8 times before it actually starts to kind of sink in and we actually start applying it. That's no different from your caregivers. So when you're thinking about the training program that you're setting up for your caregivers, you want to make sure and have really regular intervals, regular frequency where you're delivering that knowledge to them so that they can have that reinforcement. Because the fact is that, again, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter what your background or educational level, most of us don't retain information if we only hear it once. So we need to be thinking about that as we're building the training processes and programs for our caregivers in order to make sure that they're able to actually retain and apply the information that we want them to. Of course, this can be logistically difficult, it can be time consuming, it can be hard to do, and that's why it's not often done. If you need any assistance with that, please reach out. I'd be happy to help in any way that I can. Okay, so those are the 2 tips for 10-Minute 2-Tip Tuesday, but I did want to share with you some information about fall prevention that I'm going to be presenting here coming up. So, excuse me, I just have a frog in my throat today. I'm sorry. So, in light of the fact that preventing falls is one of the most important hottest topics when we're talking about senior care or the caregiving industry in general, I decided I was going to go ahead and put on a series of educational events. It's going to be a 3-part series all about fall prevention. Now, this is specifically for fall prevention for non-medical caregiving organizations. So part 1 is going to be coming up at the end of the month. It's going to be on February 25th. And we're going to be talking about, in that event, we're going to be talking about 3 different things. The first thing is, what are the kind of red flags, risks, and warning signs that we want our caregivers to be looking out for to start preventing falls before they happen. The second topic in that first part of the series is how to actually help your caregivers to report those things when they notice them. And then the third part is all about, for the leaders of these organizations, what are you supposed to do once something like that has been reported to you. So that's part 1 in the series of fall prevention for non-medical caregiving organizations. Like I said, it's coming up at the end of the month. It's going to be on February 25th. It's at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it's super easy to register. After I repost this recording of the live 10-Minute 2-Tip Tuesday, I will put a link down below in the comments section, and you can just click on that link and sign up right there. It's super duper easy. If you have any questions, of course, please feel free to message me, reach out if I can do anything for you at all. Okay, that is it for me for today's 10-Minute 2-Tip Tuesday, live right here at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time every Tuesday. I'm sorry, one more thing. Next Tuesday, I have a conflicting event, so I won't be able to do it live next Tuesday. However, I will return next Wednesday. I promise I'll get the content to you regardless. All right, so I will see you next Wednesday for your live 10-minute 2-Tip Tuesday. And then we will resume on our regular live schedule for every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right, until next time, y'all, please be healthy, be well, take good care of yourselves and the people around you. Take care. Bye.